Hello and welcome to Talking About Success. I'm Jack Canfield, America's #1 success coach, chairman of the Canfield Training Group, and the author of numerous New York Times bestsellers, including the Chicken Soup for the Soul series and most recently, the Success Principles, how to get from where you are to where you want to be. And today I'd like to introduce you to Debra Lee Fader. Now, Debra was a successful singer, dancer, and top Vegas entertainer, performing in Las Vegas, Atlantic City, the Caribbean, and on luxury cruise ships. And with dreams of a commercial and film career in Los Angeles, she instead felt called by God to change her path. Moving back to Minnesota, she found fulfillment as a radio broadcaster and worship director. Then one morning, everything changed. She fell out of bed, unable to walk. And today, she's a well-known community leader and best-selling author who champions faith, resilience, and the power to start over, no matter your age or your circumstance. So, Debra, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Jack. It's just a pleasure to be with you.
Well, I'm so excited to have you here. So let's start at the beginning. When you were a child, what was your dream for your life?
Well, I used to get up every morning at about 7, and I'd listen and see Mahalia Jackson singing. I wanted to be Mahalia Jackson. So that was the very first dream I had, to be a singer and sing beautiful gospel songs. And then after that, what did I do? Oh, Dinah Shore. It was Dinah Shore. I would see her at night, and she was, her sponsor was Chevy or Chevrolet, and she would sing the song, "See the USA
in your
Chevrolet."
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, and so she would do that, and I'd say, oh, I have to be Dinah. And then, so I had two people that were my, I was being mentored or taught at that point. Then the next thing was, I was watching on a snowy winter day, I was watching a show on Matinee Idol, or Matinee Movie, they used to call it. And I saw a beautiful ballerina, and she was saying, "I want to be alone." And I said, who is this creature? I wanted to be Greta Garbo. So I had three things. They were just set in my mind. Nothing was going to change it. It never has. I wanted to be those three people probably all my life, but I've enjoyed watching them do what they do. And of course, I also was an entertainer for many years, and in many ways, I followed in their footsteps. So it's been a good life in that way.
So you leave, was it Minnesota, you said?
Minnesota.
And you end up where?
Well, I started singing with a polka band, Dick Macco Orchestra, and I sang with that group. I started at 13 years old, and then when I graduated from high school, I was still 17 years old, and I went into a dinner theater, Edgewater 8 in Northeast Minneapolis. It was kind of like the show Fantastics. We all had trunks to sit on or stand on and little stools, and we would move them all around and do different songs from different Broadway musicals. It was great, in a supper club. And after that, I went to college in San Diego. I needed to get away from the cold weather. It was driving me crazy. I didn't like the Minnesota weather. I still don't like it. I love Christmas. I love New Year's. I love Valentine's Day, those types of things in the winter. But the rest of it, I'm not too happy with. I have said many times to other people in my life, I am a warm weather person. I need to get back to the warm weather as often as possible. So I was in San Diego and started.
Where did you go to school there?
Oh, I went to USIU. It was United States
I know
International. International University. We used to have a school for performing and visual arts there, and probably the most famous person that graduated, or there were two, Patrick Swayze and then Jamie Foxx. They both graduated from that school while it was still around. And after that, I started doing Vegas shows. So that's how my life transpired. But of course, I was trained for opera, and I did do a little night music. I did a Broadway touring of a little night music. So I was in a little night music. I played Petra, and so I had my chance to dabble a little bit in opera or operetta and loved it. And then I decided to audition for a show in Las Vegas. My peers, we were all in another show together called Pal Joey. And yeah, great show. I played Linda English in that show. And we decided, I had a car. So we decided, all of us piled into my little Honda Civic, and we went to Las Vegas. And of course, all these other people were having trouble keeping their legs in my car because they were so tall. And that didn't compute to me at the time. I just thought, well, I'm driving, it's okay. They'll just have to suffer through. Well, when we arrived in Las Vegas, I found out that the show that I was going to audition for, which was Lido de Paris at the Stardust, had a height requirement. You had to be 5'8" or above. Hopefully 5'8" was the cutoff. And I was 5'4". So they didn't want to see me perform. And finally, I had the cahoots enough to tell Don Arden, who was the director for the show. 2 of my friends were called back, actually 3. And I said, if you want to see these other people perform, you're going to have to see me too, because I'm their ride home. And he just split a gut. I shouldn't say it that way, but he did. He just laughed his fool head off and said, you get to be the token singer in the show, or in the audition. I said, okay, I'll show up. And then we went through the audition. He was making his mind up. And then he said, wait a minute, I forgot about the token singer. So he said, where's the token singer? I need to see this. Yeah, I need to see this Debra Lee. So I got up on the stage and I had my last $10. We had been there for 4 days. I was already running through my $10, and I gave a wonderful pianist, her name is Adelaide Robbins. I gave her my last $10, and she played for me, and I sang every Judy Garland song or whatever song that Don Arden asked me to sing, and then he would ask me to dance, and finally he just said to everyone there, he said, she's got the job. I don't care if she's too short. I don't care about any of this. This girl deserves to be on the stage. So that was my first foray into Las Vegas. And I was at the Stardust Hotel in Las Vegas for a couple of years, and it was great. So, and I was the lead singer in the show. So I had beautiful dancers all around me, and I didn't have to worry. I was in the center of the stage. It didn't matter if I was shorter, but they did build up my heels so that it was during the 70s when I did this job. And so I had platform shoes, and I was able to be just as tall as anybody else. So it was great.
Good for you. I love it. That's a great story.
Thank you.
So now you went from Vegas, so you also performed on cruise ships and
yes.
things like that in Puerto Rico and things?
Yes, I went from Las Vegas. I did 2 shows in Las Vegas right away, and then I went to Puerto Rico for a while. Oh, and in the meantime, between those 2 things, I was in Mexico City when I was in college, and I did some singing with a band down there that was an offshoot of La Tierra, and that means the earth. That was a very popular Mexican band.
Yeah.
And they were all from Mexico. So I was able to become the singer with that group for 6 months when I was down in Mexico City. And so I was able to speak Spanish. I learned to speak Spanish. I learned to sing in Spanish. And then from Las Vegas, I went to Puerto Rico, where I did do several TV shows and voiceovers, and also performed on stage every night live in a production show at the El San Juan Hotel. So
busy.
Very busy, but I loved it. You can do so many things when you're really young.
Yeah, true.
You can
true.
get it
and
all
passionate.
Yeah, so it's like
yeah.
Exactly. Be passionate. I should have let you talk.
So you're living your dream, but you walked away from it.
Well, yeah. What happened is,
What happened?
okay, well, there were so many other shows that happened, and so many cruise shows, cruise line shows, and several times back and forth to Las Vegas and Reno and Atlantic City and on and on. I just was on that circuit. And finally, I left. It was the Jubilee cruise ship for Carnival Cruise Lines in Los Angeles. We ported. I used to have a home in Canoga Park, and there were some odd things going on in my life at that time, in the personal life, and I just said, I'm leaving. I need to go home. I need to see my family. I need to start over. And so that's what I did. I was getting on in years, and usually these performers are in their 20s. And, I didn't want anybody to say to me, hey, you're getting too old, you're getting really long in the tooth, let's get rid of you, you're done. So instead I made a conscientious decision to give myself a swan song, and I sang my heart out, and then I left, and then I packed up my bags and I went home. So, and then my whole life changed again.
And what did you do then?
Well, I decided to go to school for broadcasting. I became a broadcaster. And one of the places that I first worked was in Montevideo, Minnesota. And I went there and I met my husband, and my life completely changed. My entire trajectory just changed, and I had more fulfilling things going on in my life than I could have ever imagined, being part of that smaller town atmosphere. And I ended up being the mayor.
The mayor?
Yeah, the mayor
Really?
of Montevideo, Minnesota, which has a very Spanish flavor. Our sister city since 1904 has been Montevideo, Uruguay, and that's Montevideo, Uruguay.
Right. So your ability to speak Spanish,
yes,
came in handy.
It saved my life. It's just amazing. I've used that Spanish, and I had from college, I had learned all of the arias in German and arias in French, and so I fit in really well with the Lido de Paris when I did that show. And anyway, so languages are very important, I think, for people to aspire to. As far as the singing, I became a worship director, and I was just shocked that I could actually make a living doing my broadcasting and my singing in a church. I was making a job, having a job in a church, and I was flabbergasted how I can actually make a living by singing in church. And so then that became my passion. And that's what I did for many years. And one day, it was during Christmas of 2006, I woke up, I got out of bed, I fell on my knees, I fell to my forearms, and then fell right on my face. My forearms didn't even work. Wow. And I was totally paralyzed.
Like that?
Just like that, out of nowhere. And then I went through several years of trying to find out really what was the matter with me, and nobody had answers, because it wasn't showing up in my blood. It wasn't showing up in any MRI. And the one thing that did show up was that this would have been in January of 2007, my husband was looking at my doctor's chart, and he saw that there was a positive on my Western blot for Lyme. And yes, and so then, thank goodness he saw that, because when the doctor came in, he said, I think she's got Lyme disease. And they put the medication towards getting me better. I had several infusions for Lyme disease, and it saved my life, because all my organs were completely shutting down. We didn't know, nobody knew what to do with me, and that saved my life. Whatever was in that particular mixture of medication saved me. And after that, I started to fall backwards again. I finally got back on my feet and got to the point where I could use a cane, and then I started regressing. And we had no idea. I went to the best specialists all over our state, and nobody could figure out what was wrong. And in the meantime, I was just getting incapacitated, less and less mobility, and I was back in wheelchairs. Every time I would get a cold, watch out, I couldn't move a muscle. And finally, I went to Mayo Clinic in 2013, and they discovered that I did indeed have MS. By then it was showing up in the MRIs, in the blood, everywhere. So it was minor, but at least it was showing up. Then the problem was there was no medication, because I had primary progressive MS, which means that you get worse and worse every year. And finally, in 2017, there was a drug that could help me, and it was called Ocrevus. And it has saved my life, literally saved my life, and kept me at the disability or the lack of movement wherever I was at 2017. I've been able to stay at that level, of disability ever since then. But it had, without that medication, I would definitely be in a wheelchair. And sometimes God works in strange ways, because God will use medication. People might say, well, you can't be touched with miracles. No, it's my miracle. To be able to move and to be able to walk is supported with God and supported with the medication.
Well, you walked in here with a little bit of help from your walker. But
exactly.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that had to be a very scary time for you.
It was very scary.
I mean, you don't know what's going on. Finally, they find something, Lyme disease, and then there's this other thing that starts to emerge. Right. What gave you the strength to just keep pushing through all that?
Well, I just was hoping for an answer. And what really saved me and has saved me through all of the things in my life, good or bad, has been my belief in God. Mm-hmm. So for me, my higher power is God the Father, His Son, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit. And I really believe that those things are here around us all the time. And the Holy Spirit was sent after Jesus died, and that's what has kept me going. And I'm all the better for it. So, and I feel...
Well, say more about that. I'm all the better for it.
I'm all the better for it because I did write a book. Mm-hmm. It's called Walk by Faith, mm-hmm. with God as your compass. And you like the compass part.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and it's an important part of life to be able to see and follow your dreams, but also follow a higher power. I at least that's my belief.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I have done is just follow that. And I forgot what you said, so let's go back again.
Well, I was just saying what gave you the strength, and you said God and the Holy Spirit, but then you said something to the effect of you mentioned there was something good came out of that.
Well, for me, it's people would look at my life and think I had a charmed life, and I did, but I wasn't taking anything for granted. But other people might have thought I did. I don't know. I've since been able to prove them wrong, and they've all come back and said, "You know what? You're okay." But it was quite a challenge. I mean, it's the great leveler. If your health is off, you will be off, and you must change, and you must transition. And I did it with faith, and I feel that if anybody is sitting on the fence when it comes to faith, you need to read my book, because it will show you undoubtedly that the world runs on the octane of the Holy Spirit, and it saved me, and it can save you too.
How do you on a daily basis relate to the Holy Spirit, to God, to Jesus?
Oh, just even getting ready to come here, to get in a cab, to whatever I have to do, it's God help me all the time, because it's not easy to do these things. And I know I hear from my husband, and he says, "Did you get to the plane? Did you get, all of these things, every little step of the way?" People are concerned that I can actually get around by myself, but there's so many kind people out there, and they all have helped me. Right. I can't say enough about the kindness of others, and that is an important part of how I live now. I believe in kindness, and I believe in people becoming better, using kindness to help them achieve their better life. If you're kind to others, and you do as you would unto others as you would do to yourself or for yourself, you will find that the world is a better place, and you're happier in it, and the people that you meet are part of your kindness family. And so that is what I love to do now, is try to lead people to a better life through kindness.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Do you I'm just curious about the concept of guidance. Do you feel like you're guided? Do you pay attention to the?
Yeah. There used to be a time in my life where I would say, God, show me a sign. But these days, I really don't need it. But I sure had a lot of signs on my way here to see you. We were laid over in Salt Lake City. There wasn't any place to go. All of a sudden, I had my own room, and then the next day I had an upgrade to come here to see you. I was put in first class, which was just amazing to me.
Oh, great.
And then I came to the Hilton yesterday here, and there's no pool. So then they upgraded my room. The pool is being fixed. So they upgraded my room. I have a fabulous suite. So it's, and these are all material things, but the idea is that people will help you if you are open to them. If you want to have a bad attitude, you're not going to get a good attitude coming back at you. So you better be on your best behavior at all times. I truly believe that.
I do too.
Yeah.
So writing a book takes work, takes focus, takes commitment.
Yes.
What inspired you or called you to actually take it on and write your memoir and get this book out there to the world?
Okay, well, it wasn't going to be getting a book out to the world to begin with. It was for my grandkids.
For your grandkids?
Yeah, I was thinking about them. I don't know how long I'll be on this earth. None of us do. But I thought, there's a way for them to look at me or read about me someday when they're a little older, and they'll go, "Oh, Grandma Debbie, she wasn't so bad after all." I mean, right now they know me as the grandma that comes to their house and cheers them on, but it's just kind of a fun thing to find out Grandma had a life before Grandpa. So
That's funny.
Yeah, so it's just kind of fun. It's kind of fun to do that. And that's why I started writing this book. Well, as I started getting into it, I realized that I was onto something that could help other people. And that's what pulled me through. But it was also a difficult journey, because going back into your own life and seeing all your faults and foibles, and then how you got yourself out of this situation and that situation, and it takes a lot out of you on a daily basis. So it took me 3.5 years to write the book fully. So, and it's done now, and it's out there now.
Yeah,
so.
no, I know it's a lot of work. I've written a few.
Yes.
And I'm always, I don't think anyone knows what it's like unless you've been an author.
Yes.
The work it takes, and the commitment and the self-doubt you go through and all that stuff that you have to power through.
Right. And that's why we appreciate that you will mentor all of us to make us be better at writing and better at putting the stories together. It's great. I mean, there aren't very many people you can go to say help. So I really appreciate you.
If you were to say there's like one or two major takeaways you'd like people to take from your book, what would they be?
Well, the takeaway is, like I said, if you're sitting on the fence at all, read my book, because you will see that, hey, she had some ups and downs, and she put her faith in God. And there were times when I was kneeling on the floor with tears streaming down my eyes saying, "Help me fix my life. I just don't know what I'm doing. I need some help." And God did do that. He fixed my life. He brought me to a new place, a new trajectory, a new life of hope and some fulfillment. So that's a very important thing to me. And the secondary thing would be that other people, be good to other people, and they'll be good to you.
Yeah, I like to think the world's a mirror. It's going to mirror back to you. If you're nice, the world will be nice. If you're positive, the world will reflect that back to you. Yeah.
It's really true.
For sure.
Really true.
For sure. So where can people find your book?
Oh, you can find it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. And then also I have different mom and pop shops that approach me. Or they can write to me if you want to. I have 3 different websites. So I have DebraLeeFader.com, which leads to 2 other websites, which one is called Kindness Alliances.
Kindness Alliances, I like that.
Yes, and it's a nonprofit. And then I also have Queen of Kindness,
Queen of
Two,
kindness.
yeah, two.
So kindness is big for
kindness
you.
is really big for me. It's what I'll be leading people towards in order to.
I think that's what when someone asked the Dalai Lama what his religion was, he said kindness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just be kind.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
Just be kind.
Yeah.
And he, the Dalai Lama, of course, is the spiritual guide for so many Tibetans. So it's really important that he says that. Yes.
Yeah, no, it's true. I find, I have a friend who wrote a book called The Finders, and it was, most of us are seekers.
Yes.
But he studied all the people who found it, like the inner peace and joy and enlightenment and, transpersonal energy and spirituality. And one of the things, I took his class, and he just had us every day, we had to commit an act of kindness, because when you're being loving, there's one of my friends sent me a card once. It said, the love you experience is secondhand because I experienced it first.
Oh, how beautiful.
Isn't that great?
Yes.
Yeah, for me to love you, I have to be in a state of love, which is the highest vibration I can be in.
Yes.
And then you get to experience that as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so just choosing every day to be in love and acts of love and so forth is really important. Well, I love you. I
love you too. You know that.
But you're amazing, and then you're just really a sweet spirit and really inspiring. I think lots of people, and now with your memoir, you can do that even more. And we've told people how to get in touch with you and where to get your book. If you had one final message, maybe you just shared it with what the book was, but one final thing you would say to people, what would it be?
Be kind. Be kind, because you never know who you are going to affect on a daily basis. Even just a smile to someone. They might be having a bad day, and you may help them to get out of their druthers and go on with their life. So just do what you can to help other people.
You know what that reminds me of? We had a chicken soup story in one of the first books, and this guy, he wrote a note. It was a suicide note.
Oh, no.
And he said, I'm going to walk from here to the Golden Gate Bridge.
Oh.
And if one person smiles at me, I won't jump.
Oh.
And someone did, and he didn't jump.
Isn't that amazing?
So you never know what your smile can mean to somebody. So simple, such an easy thing to do. Yeah. Mother Teresa used to say, just smile at people. Share that love that way. It doesn't have to be anything more than that, just the generativeness of love.
Yes, well, love is the highest power on this earth, and it makes us all holy.
That's right.
So,
that's right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for joining me today and joining all of us. I so appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Jack. It's great.
You're a treasure.
Oh, you are a treasure. You're a national treasure.
All right, we'll start a treasury. All right. And thanks all of you for being here too. I really appreciate you joining us today. And make sure to tune in next time. And also, we'll have another episode about talking about success, where I'll be interviewing another transformational leader who can help you live a healthier, happier, more productive, fulfilling, kind life. And also, be aware that I would love you to share with people about this podcast. Let people know about the Jack Canfield podcast. Let them know about this episode with Debra. Let them know about her book. Because when you take that and you share it, you're part of that ripple of love going out to the world. So maybe you're not the stone that dropped in the water, but you can be the ripple. So be sure to check out Debra's book, Walk by Faith with God as Your Compass, and visit her website at DebraLeeFader.com. And until then, walk in joy, walk in kindness, walk in love. See you next time. Thank you for watching this episode of Talking About Success. Remember, your success is a journey. So for more information and free resources to help you, be sure to visit jackcanfield.com/learn more.